The President, the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice of India, judges, union ministers, women drivers. Now there is a long list of those who are exempted from Delhi government's ambitious odd-even plan that is set to roll out from the 1st of January 2016. That is 8 days from now. But the question is, has Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, done his homework? Is this even implementable, or is this a rather quixotic plan, a Tughlaki Farman, as some say? Unimplementable because the public transport system has still not been strengthened. Call us at 8 p.m. We are waiting for your calls. Tell us what you think. Senior Aam Aadmi Party leader Adarsh Shastri, who's been working on the odd-even plan, he will take your questions. Our number is on your screen, 0120-480-7310. Kirti Azad, the BJP MP from Darbhanga, may have been suspended, but he remains defiant. He is warned of more revelations. Now, Kirti Azad says there is a CD which he will bring out at an appropriate time. Kirti Azad has also bowled a googly, asking the Margdarshak Mandal, the seniors of the BJP, to decide his fate. The Margdarshak Mandal too are seeking an inquiry into allegations levelled by Kirti Azad. The split in the BJP is wide open, and that is our top focus story on the broadcast.
मेरे पास बहुत कुछ है, लेकिन मैं किसी को शर्मिंदा नहीं करना चाहता.
He has been shown the door after days of baiting Arun Jaitley, but Kirti Azad remains defiant. Suspended but stubborn, the MP says more revelations lie in store.
अभी माननीय मार्गदर्शक मंडल के लोगों से मिलना और जो मेरे ऊपर आरोप लगाए गए हैं उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा स्पष्टीकरण लूंगा कि मुझे बताया जाए.
But support came in for the ousted member of parliament from BJP's sidelined Margdarshak Mandal, with sources telling India Today that the veterans want an inquiry into the DDCA scam. Supporters of Kirti Azad also landed up at the BJP headquarters. The Congress used the cracks within the BJP to launch a salvo over graft.
जो व्यक्ति पहले कहते थे ना खाऊंगा ना खाने दूंगा, वो आज बिल्कुल चुप है. प्रधानमंत्री देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं और लोगों का भरोसा टूट रहा है. उन्हें एक्शन लेना चाहिए, उन्हें इंक्वायरी करानी चाहिए.
But Arun Jaitley soon rebutted the charges against him in a blog post with an indirect potshot at the ousted MP and the Chief Minister of Delhi. With the BJP leadership also split on the Finance Minister, can the party put up a united front in the wake of dramatic suspension of Kirti Azad? With Atar Khan and Brajesh Pandey in Delhi, Shujoy, India Today.
But trouble appears to be mounting for the Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley after the Aam Aadmi Party, even former Super Cop KPS Gill, charged him with nepotism of his daughter benefiting from being in Hockey India. This, of course, was a charge denied both by Hockey India and by Arun Jaitley. But the question is, are they being economical with the truth? Managing editor Rahul Kaval with this India Today exclusive.
21st century में अरुण जेटली के परिवार का कोई एक सदस्य है जिसको 5.5 करोड़ रुपए का फायदा पहुंचाया गया.
हमारे पास जो दस्तावेज हैं वो दिखाते हैं.
After the DDCA muck against the finance minister, the Aam Aadmi Party levelled a stunning charge against Arun Jaitley's family. Days later, the finance minister denied that there was any association with his children on any sports body. But a quick look at the Hockey India website shows that Jaitley's daughter Sonali is a member of not one but two committees at Hockey India. Sonali Jaitley is on the legal and the ethics committees of the hockey administrative body, as posted on its official website. What's more, Sonali's legal partner and husband, Jayesh Bakshi, is a member of the ethics committee and the anti-corruption committee. On Wednesday, former Hockey India chief KPS Gill had alleged nepotism during Jaitley's stint, but his charges were soon rubbished by the current hockey boss.
We have about 25 law firms and lawyers. She is one of them. At one point of time, we had 22 cases going on all over India. So we required services of many law firms and lawyers to handle that.
From facing heat during his innings at the DDCA, the allegations against Arun Jaitley have widened to encompass his family. As more skeletons tumble out, can the finance minister continue to rubbish the charges? With Rahul Kanwal in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
After levelling serious allegations, Kirti Azad went to Ahmedabad. In fact, he's just addressing the media. Let's quickly cut across live.
अभी हम वापस आए हैं मेरी पत्नी भी आई हुई है मैं उनके साथ खाने के लिए जा रहा हूँ तो मुझे प्लीज थोड़ा सा तो अपने
What do you plan to achieve from the BJP? You all obviously.
I don't know what has happened in the meeting.
कीर्ति जी ये कहा
I am not aware of what has happened in the meeting.
कीर्ति जी आप
And so until unless I am told, how can I know? If you people know, please tell me.
सर इसमें क्या
Sir, the Prime Minister is expected to return from Moscow. Will you also be seeking an appointment and want to bring this forward to him also?
Yes, tomorrow morning I'll ring up the Prime Minister's office and seek for an appointment ASAP.
सर क्या आपके मसले पर बीजेपी में ही संसदीय दल के लोग दो भाग में बटे हुए थे कि कीर्ति आजाद जी को सस्पेंड करना है या नहीं करना है, क्या ऐसा भी था?
मुझे नहीं मालूम, आपको ज्यादा जानकारी है शायद।
जोशी जी और अडवाणी जी ने ये कहा है कि आपकी बात को वो पार्टी में उठाएंगे, क्या उम्मीदें हैं उनकी आपसे? और
देखिए मैं कैसे आउट ऑफ टर्न बोल दूं, मेरी जब बात ही नहीं हुई तो मैं क्या कहूँगा। अभी मैं जाके नोटिस देखूंगा, जो मुझे नोटिस दिया गया है प्रेम से मेरे पास आया है, उसको सप्रेम उसके ऊपर कुछ क्वेरीज लगा के मैंने भी भेजनी है। DDCA के किसी व्यक्तिगत आदमी से मत जोड़िए। जो नोटिस मुझे मिला है वो ये कहा गया है कि मैंने एंटी पार्टी एक्टिविटी की है, दूसरा कहा गया कि मैं कांग्रेस और आपसे मिला हूँ। उसमें DDCA के भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध जो मैं लड़ रहा हूँ, जो मैं समझता हूँ, उसके बारे में तो कहा ही नहीं है। अन्यथा मैंने पार्लियामेंट में ये कही थी कि 4-4 बार नोटिस जा चुका है CBI का DDCA को। अगर मेरी सरकार भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध न लड़ रही होती तो वो क्यों दिया होता। तो इसलिए मैं आपसे कहना चाहता हूं कि CBI रेड मारती है स्ट्रेट अवे, किसी को नोटिस नहीं देती है। हमने देखा था जो मामले के कारण से इतना तूल बढ़ा कि आपके मुख्यमंत्री के सेक्रेटरी के यहाँ रेड मारा गया, फर्स्ट टाइम कोई नोटिस तो नहीं दिया गया। और उसमें उन्होंने ये एलेज किया कि DDCA की फाइल ले गई क्योंकि मैं कमीशन ऑफ इंक्वायरी बैठा रहा था। कबाब में हड्डी मुझे बना दिया गया, और कबाब में हड्डी बना दिया तो विकीलीक्स फॉर इंडिया ने एक वो उसको तैयार किया था, हम भी वहां पर गए थे, तो उन्होंने जो बताया बात सही थी क्योंकि वो हमारे बात से मेल खाती थी।
Managing editor Rahul Kanwal now joins me for more on this story. Rahul, is the BJP split wide open on this? Because the BJP, seen as a party that was fighting corruption, has its image taken a beating with this internal fight.
Gaurav, India today has been able to piece together details of what transpired in this meeting of the Margdarshak Mandal at Murli Manohar Joshi's residence this afternoon. From what we've gathered, they were very upset with the manner in which Kirti Azad was suspended from the party without a parliamentary board meeting being called, without the discipline committee of the BJP sitting in and deciding on Kirti Azad's show cause, because no show cause was issued in this instance. He was summarily suspended. They believe that this reflects poorly on the internal health of the party, and they feel that the internal health of the party, which is an issue that they've raised earlier, has been continuing to suffer, and decisions are being taken randomly without consulting a larger body. That's the sense that the Margdarshak Mandal had. But it's very interesting, Gaurav, that despite sources telling us what transpired, unlike last time after the Bihar elections, this time no official statement was put out by the Margdarshak Mandal. Remember last time, just on the day the Prime Minister had announced his big FDI reform push, the Margdarshak Mandal had come out and put out a public statement expressing displeasure in public. This time the displeasure is more private. They haven't come out with a statement just yet, and that is something interesting because they haven't quite gone the full distance like they did this last time. They've expressed their displeasure, but they haven't quite indicated what they intend to do with it. From what we've been able to gather, they say they will raise this issue in the next big meeting of the BJP. That isn't fixed yet. We don't quite know when it will happen. And remember, unlike earlier when all these people were members of the parliamentary board, now they're not members of the parliamentary board. So will they really have an opportunity to raise some of those issues? Those are some of the questions that are being asked right now.
And let me get BJP's GVL Narasimha Rao to respond to some of these. GVL, Kirti Azad says, what's my fault? I've been talking about corruption in DDCA, not targeting any individual. I've been doing that for a long time. Why suspend me without a notice?
Gaurav, I think the party's suspension letter was dispatched to him. He has certainly, I think, received it. And the reasons why he has been suspended have been spelled out in considerable detail in that letter. And the party will await not his public comments, the party will await his response to the show cause notice that has been issued to him.
But
and
is there an internal
we'll think about
feud?
Subsequent steps.
Okay, is there a feud? You know, there are old scores that are being settled. There's a political fight, there's a legal fight. So you have Subramaniam Swamy of the BJP who is helping Kirti Azad get his response. You also have former BJP leader Ram Jethmalani who's fighting for Arvind Kejriwal, taking on Arun Jaitley in court. So this is now a political legal fight that Arun Jaitley is fighting.
No, I think that the action taken by the party is certainly a political action, and the action that Mr. Jaitley has initiated is a legal action. So certainly, I think the party has the party has taken the appropriate action politically, and Mr. Jaitley is free to initiate any legal action because it was his personal prestige and reputation that was called into question without a shred of evidence. So let the people who have made accusations against him now present themselves in a court of law and give clinching proof of the charges that they have made.
Is there merit in Kirti Azad saying? Is there merit in Kirti Azad saying is anti-DDCA campaign, anti-BJP activity?
I think this is not certainly limited to DDCA. The kind of statements that he has made, the kind of tweets he has made, the kind of, I think as a member of parliament, he also broke away from the party line, certainly, and then he was actually seen to be he was more in support of the opposition, which was simply wanting to draw the blood. Certainly, these are seen as anti-party activities. How is it connected with DDCA?
Okay. He also says that the BJP
and the
constitution...
DDCA investigation and the DDCA...
Yes,
just
okay,
let
go
me
on.
finish.
Yes.
And the DDCA investigation, the investigation which was initiated by Sonia Gandhi, UPA government at the instance of same member of parliament, showed Mr. Jaitley clearly in the clear. That
but
investigation
that again was challenged in court. That's the point
level.
he's making. That's the point he's making. Why can't there be a CBI monitored probe, time-bound manner? If it clears whoever is accused in the next 3 months, then all is clear. That's point one. Point two, isn't the BJP now split wide open? I want to move forward from that point. The split is wide open. The Margdarshak Mandal also wants an inquiry, GVL Narasimha Rao.
No, I have not seen any statements, any suggestions being given by them publicly.
Shanta Kumarji said that just a short while back.
Some of these
he was very clear. There should be an inquiry.
Just
the truth should come
some
out.
of these, see, leaders like Advani ji are, I think he has been the architect of the party. So any observations, any suggestions, any views that someone of the stature of Advani ji gives to the party, I think are viewed very, very seriously by the top leadership of the party. I am not aware of such suggestions being made, but any suggestions or any views will be seriously considered by the party's leadership, because Advani ji is a leader of a stature that nobody questions, nobody really matches up to. So their views are certainly taken very seriously and considered in all seriousness
should be an inquiry,
by
will
the
there be an
topmost
inquiry?
leadership of the party.
Because Kirti Azad's point is, I have not targeted Mr. Arun Jaitley personally.
I can't answer.
I have not, that is what Kirti Azad says. I haven't targeted Mr. Arun Jaitley personally. I am saying probe the corruption in DDCA, take action against those who are responsible. Why am I being suspended for that? That is his limited point. And now, despite him being suspended, he's also saying that there is another CD, there are more revelations. So has the politics of suspension actually failed? Because he's going to come out with more revelations now. So what next?
I think you have to first make up your mind. Whether you want to ask me a question about whether his suspension was legitimate, or you're now questioning was it a mistake. I think party takes all factors into consideration before taking an action. and certainly the party felt that he sidestepped the party's discipline, and whatever he has to say in communication to the party, not to the media. Whatever he says in the media, we are not going. The party is not likely to consider or take cognizance of that. And his reply to the show cause notice would certainly be awaited by the party. He can explain his position.
Now, the point he's also making is, why was there no show cause notice given to him pending suspension? That is something where the party once again has violated its own constitution or its own norms, that you give a show cause notice and then you suspend a person.
I think the party has the full authority. He can question. We are a democratic party. You would never ask this question to Sonia Gandhi because you agree Sonia Gandhi is a family party. You would never ask these questions to Kejriwal, who summarily expels people who were instrumental in building that party, who were founders of that party. You would never question them. You would not have these questions for Samajwadi Party, Nitish Kumar, none of them. But all these questions become very important.
We shall deal with them on merits. That is not the debate this evening, sir. That is not the debate this evening. Today, the debate is the Margdarshak Mandal also saying there should be a probe. Why was Kirti Azad suspended, as he says, for raising a voice against corruption? Because the Congress today says, Prime Minister Narendra Modi used to say, na khaunga, na khane dunga. But when somebody raises the issue of corruption, his head is axed.
I think it's better if people like Rahul Gandhi remain quiet on such issues, because he is an accused facing charges of cheating 420 in a court of law. He is accused out on bail and safety bond. I think they have perpetrated lakhs of crores of corruption on this country. They have expelled people who don't really look up to who don't really suck up to their family. So these are people who actually have no locus.
But that is why the BJP claims it is a party with a difference, sir. The BJP claims it's a party with a difference.
No,
so why are you drawing parallels with alleged corruption in the Congress or alleged action, which is taken without thinking, whether it may be in Samajwadi Party, the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress? Then how are you a party with a difference, sir?
No, the viewers know it. The people know it. We are not a one-man party, one family party. And we follow according to our constitution. And Mr. Kirti Azad, I think he has to reply to the show cause notice to the party. Whatever statements he makes in public, that will have no relevance whatsoever. I think a party will await his response and then take appropriate for the
because G.V.L. Narasimha Rao, it isn't just about the suspension of Kirti Azad. Now the Congress party may have talked about Kirti Azad, the Prime Minister saying na khaunga na khane dunga, but they say when alleged corruption of other leaders, whether it's the Chief Minister of Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh or the External Affairs Minister, when alleged corruption was raised there, the Prime Minister once again, who said na khaunga na khane dunga, he's kept quiet about corruption within the party.
I think none of these political parties or leaders have no credibility whatsoever to raise questions about the Prime Minister, who has always led an exemplary life and who has always set an example. We simply ignore their views. We think they have absolutely no basis or no credibility to make such views. I'm sorry, I have to leave.
They're all outsiders. One last question, G.V.L. Narasimha Rao, before I let you go. One last question. Shatrughan Sinha is a member of your own party. Shatrughan Sinha, is he next? Is Shatrughan Sinha next? Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal today gave details of his ambitious odd-even plan aimed at curbing pollution levels in the national capital. This plan is to be implemented for the first 15 days from January 1. Several VIPs and women drivers are exempted from this plan. Violators will be penalized with a challan of 2,000 rupees. Let's get you the details before we take your questions on the broadcast.
As Delhi struggled to deal with the smog menace, Wednesday turned out to be the most polluted day of 2015. Delhi government laid out the details of the odd-even policy to be implemented with effect from January 1st, 2016. The President, Prime Minister, Ministers of the Central Government, top officials and Chief Ministers of all states, except Delhi, are exempted from the plan. Also exempted are CNG vehicles and two-wheelers. Violators will be fined 2,000 rupees.
4 से 5,000 एक्स्ट्रा नई बसेस नई इन द सेंस और एडिशनल बसेस स्कूल्स की और चार्टर्ड बसेस उतारी जा रही हैं। कारपूल ऐप अगले 2-3 दिन के अंदर जिसमें आप अपने दोस्तों को एक ग्रुप बना सकते हैं।
जो ऑड इवन पॉलिसी के खिलाफ चलेगा उसे 2,000 रुपये का चालान किया जाएगा। काफ़ी सारी एग्जेम्प्टेड कैटेगरी भी है और दिल्ली की जनता भी इसमें सहयोग करेगी, तो हमारा काम इतना मुश्किल भी नहीं है।
Single women drivers will be allowed. They can be accompanied either by other women or children, but not by men. So you actually can't be treating your wives or girlfriends as your chauffeurs. That's not what the government is allowing, and that's not the idea behind the plan. But this is to ensure safety of women drivers on the capital's roads.
Residents of the national capital gave a thumbs up to the policy, even as they acknowledged the loopholes.
They have declared the holidays for the government schools for the 15 days. So, ma'am, but thing cannot be tested because schools will reopen after 15 days. So, actual condition, actual result can be analyzed only when it is tested in the most severe conditions.
For some routes, there are not enough number of buses, so the people need to change public transport quite a lot of times. So, they prefer their own vehicle. That's why I find that this method is not a foolproof plan, but some measures are good, but you need to take some more measures about it.
Convinced with the plan.
You have 12 lanes functioning, one going this way and the other one coming this way. How are you going to check each one of them? Whether it can be implemented or not, that is the big question, and that is what is concerning everybody.
There is no doubt that odd even policy is in ambitious steps. While the critics say this policy will not bring about much change in the capital's pollution levels, Delhi government says this is a temporary policy and corrective measures will be taken 15 days after its implementation. With camera person Ashwini Hillen and Ankit Tyagi, Atir Khan in Delhi for India Today.
Pollution levels in Delhi is alarming, and the government says this is a step where people have to cooperate to make it successful. But is it even possible given the state of public transport in the national capital? Yatindra is our first caller who calls us. We also have Jitendra who calls us from Dehradun. Jitendra, go on.
Sir, the success of the plan will depend on how people cooperate, and whether the police, I hope, will not, start accepting bribes for this wrong odd even number. So I hope that things will move as the government has planned, but let us hope that things will move accordingly.
That's a good point you've raised there. One, people cooperation, and two, about corruption, alleged corruption in the police, central to the success or failure of this plan. On your Raghunath calls us from Bangalore. Mr. Raghunath, go on, share your views with us.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So this is a totally confusing plan of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, exempting VIPs and women and two-wheelers. So instead of using diesel vehicles, it is better to convert into CNG buses and cars of diesel. Probably pollution level may come down, according to my opinion.
Well, buses have already been converted to diesel, and there are 3,000 more buses that are being added to Delhi routes. That is what Delhi Chief Minister has announced today. 3,000 to 4,000 buses is what the Delhi government is hoping to get. So the exempted categories on your television screen: women driving alone, cars carrying the specially abled people, CNG vehicles and two-wheelers are exempt, hybrid vehicles are exempt. The President, the Prime Minister, Union Ministers, the Chief Justice of India, Supreme Court judges, High Court judges, Chief Ministers of all states except Delhi. Delhi government officials are also not exempt in this category. We have Saful who joins us from Noida. Go on, Saful, your views on the odd even plan. Vikas calls us from Indrapuram. Vikas, go on.
Yeah, this is regarding NCR.
Yes.
That is Ghaziabad, and we are having a Delhi number. So how we will enter into the airport and railway station if we have to travel?
Well, odd even plan stays. So if you have an odd number car, it cannot come to Delhi on an even day. That is very clear. Delhi's Transport Minister Gopal Rai has made that very clear. Odd and even, whether your car has a Delhi number or an outside number, odd even plan stays. Ranchi, we have Gaurav calling us from Ranchi. Go on, Gaurav, share your views.
What I want to know is that why this, how the Aam Aadmi Party has developed this unique system that vehicles driven by women won't create pollution. I don't understand the logic. Okay, and the thing is that you are saying this. Media people are saying this rather untrue story that the women are not at all safe in the road. But I have a question that I have a query that. There are different call centers and BPOs around Delhi, especially Gurgaon and Noida. So they are using cabs. So cabs are driven by male drivers. It's not they are automatically driven. So is there
okay? As far as your issue about women drivers is concerned, well, there will be pollution, but for safety of women, that's an exemption that the Delhi Chief Minister has granted, and this was on the basis of a petition that was sent by several women to the Delhi government. That is what the Delhi Chief Minister also clarified on the issue. Devendra is calling us from Gurgaon. Go on, Devendra, share your views.
Yeah, my dear, I think this air is polluted for all parties, BJP, Congress. I think if this Chief Minister is doing something, he is doing impossible. Everybody, all citizens, all these opposition parties, whatever they are opposing for, should cooperate. Even if it comes down 10%, this pollution, it is a good news. Please be good, be sensible. Don't ridicule Kejriwal.
That's
He's doing everything possible.
That's a fair point you're making, Devendra. Don't ridicule the Chief Minister. Try out his plan first. Now, the Delhi Chief Minister, when he was questioned about the long list of exemptions, whether it's the President, the Prime Minister, VVIPs, women driving alone, Supreme Court judges, central government vehicles, military vehicles, his point was, the Delhi government's point is, even if numbers of cars come down by half and the exemption list is only 5%, at least 45% vehicles will still be off the road. The caveat, if the police cooperates. Vaishnav is calling us from Kochi. Go on, Vaishnav. Tell us, what do you think of Delhi Chief Minister's odd even plan?
Actually, it's a necessary evil for the Kochi, but the problem is that why the President and the Prime Minister of India exempted from this? Because I want to say that before this election happened and before they come to the power, my question is that they were ordinary citizens of India.
You have a fair point. Why should anyone be exempt? And let me put that question to Aam Aadmi Party leader Adarsh Shastri, who joins us on the broadcast. Adarsh Shastri, the exempt category is massive on this list. President, Prime Minister, Central Ministers, Supreme Court, High Court judges, other officials, government officials. Why are so many people exempt? How will this be a success?
Well, let me first say that in all about 90 lakh vehicles ply in Delhi, and including the vehicles which come from Haryana, from Noida, Gurgaon and so on. Now, if the list may be long, and this list, if you see, consists of primarily Government of India officials and ministers of the government and so on. But if you see the absolute number of vehicles that these exemption list consists of may not even be of 1 or 2 percentage points. Out of 90 lakh vehicles, all of these vehicles put together will not even constitute over 2% or 1%, which is 9,000 vehicles. So I don't think, we have to see the actual numbers, not see the list. And
now, Adarsh Shastri, fair point to make, sir. The former Delhi Chief Minister, Sheila Dikshit, said, how will you implement this? How is this implementable? 2 points here. 1st to 15th is the trial period. That's the time you've shut down all schools. So you are not testing this in real time. That's point 1. Point 2, in 12 lanes, how will 2 constables or 1 constable know which is an odd car and an even car? How will this be implementable, she asks.
So first of all, it is not an easy plan to implement. Let me be honest about that. Any plan drastic times, drastic measures, any such plans are not easy to implement, especially given Delhi's landscape in terms of lack of technology and lack of manpower for policing. The key, one aspect which I want to point out here is whenever rules are framed, these rules are framed, with each and every Delhiite's health and the elderly and the young people, their health in mind. So we are hoping that the people of Delhi will cooperate, number one. Number two, any rules which they are implemented, you have a fair ratio of 70 to 80% people who tend to follow rules, like law-abiding citizens.
Yes.
So if we assume that even 80% people followed the rules, we will still have at least 30 lakh vehicles off the roads, which I think is a fair beginning.
And that's a good point you make. So Adarsh
CMS said, this is a trial.
If 30 lakh vehicles are off the road, how will those people travel? The public transport system is not geared to take an additional 30 lakh load, whether it's metro or buses or taxis. And that is where the system, according to transport experts, is bound to collapse.
Well, for this 15-day period, we have been able to galvanize over 3,000 buses. I think that will take care of some of the load. Apart from that, we are hoping people will carpool, people will make alternate arrangements. Many offices are coming together to work out solutions for their employees and so on and so forth. It is, like I said, a difficult time. And I hope, and we are looking forward to Delhi citizens trying to make solutions on this. And that's the very reason it's a 15-day trial. And basis the results and learnings of this 15-day trial, we are hoping it to get implemented over a long term, maybe after a certain point in time.
Okay, fair point. Another point, when you talk of carpool, we were told, now if there's a woman driver, she can have a 12-year-old child with her, she can have disabled people with her, but not a male companion. Now if there's a woman driver and she is carpooling with two other male companions, why should the Delhi government have objections with that, sir?
Well, at this point of time, the thought which came to the view which came was that women drivers, primarily for safety reasons, should be allowed to be exempt from this rule. We realized that if they are traveling with children for for work or traveling with other women drivers, that again should not be a problem. Now, if there are other male passengers in the car, then there is no reason for that woman to be exempt, because then there are, there is safety with other family members or friends or whoever, office colleagues. So there is no reason for that exemption. That exemption only applies to the fact taking into account the safety of women. So if there are multiple women only in the car or women with little children, they fair enough need to get exempted. But if there are male passengers, then certainly there is no reason for that exemption.
Okay. Adarsh Shastri, there are several questions that people of Delhi have for you. I have several callers who've been patiently waiting for you. Okay, I have a caller from Noida. Praful is his name. Safal, go on, Safal. Ask your question. Okay. Hello. Santosh is my other caller. Santosh, go ahead, ask your question.
My implementation of odd even concept is to control pollution. But the law should be unique and above exemptions and should serve the purpose without hurting the common man. With this exemption, ultimately UAPs will become nuisance to society. Intention is good, but the methodology is not. Any good scheme, not at the cost of common man. That's my view.
Fair point. Sorry, Adarsh Shastri, were you able to hear him? He said, why exemptions?
No, exemptions, the fact is that, ideally the government would not have wanted to give any exemptions, but the rule of the land and the positions of government is such that, you have to look, we are working in a federal structure where you have the government of India also operating from this city, and, it is impossible to implement this at a scale at which it would be required, and a huge amount of cooperation would be required from the government of India. We would be more than happy to implement it across the board for government of India and everyone else. It's already been implemented for all officials of the government of Delhi. But there is a huge amount of cooperation required from the government of India, and foreseeing challenges, we felt it is better at this point of time, and looking at the role of their job and their responsibility and so on, we felt that the government of India should be exempt. And of course, Prime Minister, President, Vice President, these are all positions of responsibility and huge security concerns.
Two callers.
And obviously need to be executed, and it is normal practice in any country.
Sure.
Any country.
Two callers. Safal from Noida. I also have Dr. Oberoi. So Safal, you go first.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for taking my call. I've got two things to say. One, this problem is not made in 1 day or 2 days. This has been made in last 20-25 years. Especially the last three terms of previous government, 15 years, what were they doing? At least this government is trying to do something. I don't agree with ordering even. I'm not 100% convinced, but at least there's something happening.
Okay.
They may not be right in the first call, they might get right second time or third time, but at least somebody's starting.
Sure.
Secondly, I have a suggestion for Aam Aadmi Party, this thing.
Yes.
Why exempt anybody, or why exempt, make it cars and this? We in India have a habit of, diluting everything into categories.
So he's just answered that.
Just have a pollution control for every vehicle. You should have a pollution control. Forget about odd, even forget about VIP and ordinary. Whoever the car is not controlled under pollution, just put the car back in. I mean, just lock the car.
Dr. Oberoi is my next caller, Safal. Many thanks. Dr. Oberoi, go on. If you have a question for Adarsh Shastri of the Aam Aadmi Party.
This is Dr. Oberoi. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All I would like to say is that I would like to congratulate Arvind Kejriwal for the step that this gentleman has taken. Every new idea has got a lot of pain, and this gentleman has got the guts, audacity to take this step, and I wish Arvind Kejriwal and all the people, even Adarsh Shastri, the gentleman who's there, all the very best. I have just given this call just to congratulate them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oberoi. Adarsh Shastri heard you. There's one more question that the legal fraternity raised. Before you joined us on the broadcast, one person told me, under what law will you prosecute the violators? Odd even scheme is not there either in IPC or the CRPC. So how do you overcome the legal hurdle should this be challenged in a court of law, sir?
Well, I think, the government of Delhi has powers under the concurrent list to issue notifications on behalf of the Lieutenant Governor under the Motor Vehicles Act. Which allows, because the Motor Vehicle Act falls in the concurrent list, state and government of India both can enact laws basis that. It is on that basis the notification has been issued, and on that basis fines and penalties and compliance will be made.
Okay, I also have Vijay call, who's calling us from Faridabad. Adarsh Shastri, go on Vijay, ask your question.
Yeah, my question, I had in fact put this question earlier also to Mr. Rai. And I was assured that there is a special concession would be given to a special needs child or children who are going for medical attention every day, those who have to go for the therapies and so on and so forth. And today I was just seeing the exemption list. The exemption list does not have any mention of these special needs kids. Do you have any plans for that?
Adarsh Shastri?
I would like to point out there is, children with special needs, medical emergencies provided, of course, that can be proved. In fact, in the initial period, it is going to be based on what we are calling trust. And later on, if, you have, a condition or somebody has a condition which can be medically proved, there is absolutely no issue that those people are exempted, yes.
So I hope, Mr. Kaul, that answers your question. The Delhi Chief Minister, while addressing the media, said, we will trust you if you say that there is a medical condition in these first 15 days. Adarsh Shastri of the Aam Aadmi Party, many thanks for joining me here on the broadcast. Now, for this odd-even plan to be successful, the Delhi Chief Minister is very clear. People's cooperation is required, as is the cooperation of the Delhi Police and the administration. We here on India Today will continue to track that story very closely from the 1st to the 15th of January 2016. A quick break. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
On 26th of November, YSR Congress Party MP from Rajampet, PV Mithun Reddy, along with his supporters, allegedly slapped the Tirupati airport manager Rajshekhar when airport authorities refused.
The winters are upon us. Time to take out your sweater jackets and, in my case, cap. In fact, my colleague Rohit has already started knitting. Now, Sony smartphones, I really like them, because they have their own design philosophy.